So hello, everybody. Welcome to the IACT IMDHA Presenters Series. We are getting ready for the Great Hypno Expo, which is coming up along May 21st through the 23rd. It would have been here in Orlando, and I'll still be here in Orlando, but it's going to be online, so coming right to you in your home. Before we get started, I want to make a couple really quick announcements, and then we'll begin with our first interview. Saturday and Sunday rather, we had the Certified Stress Management Consultant training. I want to let you know it was just such a magnificent experience, and we had 40 folks all day long for 2 days, and a lot of them were in Malaysia. So I thought, my God, these people are starting out at 10 o'clock at night and getting it done at 5 in the morning. But it was really a wonderful experience. So yay, IACT IMDHA for keeping these online programs going. We don't get stopped by plagues or locusts or anything else like that. The virtual chapter, which has the same login as this evening, is going to be meeting in April on April 13th. And I've got to tell you, not only is it the 13th, that's the anniversary of the day that Abraham Lincoln was shot. So it seems altogether appropriate that we should have a witch as our guest, a self-proclaimed witch, Maria Bird. And I mean witch in the best possible sense of the word. I've got to tell you, she is no Samantha Stevens, but she's absolutely delightful. And she's going to talk to us about past life regression. So please join us for the virtual chapter on April 13th at this same login. I think that's just about it. We can get going right away and have plenty of time for our guests. So if you got anything further to add, Karen, or just take it away.
I am just very excited to get to our guest today. And, you were talking about the people joining from Malaysia. Sheila Granger is joining us from the UK, and it's the middle of the night for her too. So she stayed up for us. Thank you, Sheila. It's always appreciated. And I know that you will appreciate the talk tonight because she always brings value. Okay. And we're going to tell you about the pre-conference event that she'll have right before IACT IMDHA online. So you can attend from any place in the world, and you'll be up, I think, all night too, Sheila, doing that workshop. But we're so glad you're here. Let me tell you just a little bit about her. A transformational leader in personal and business development. Sheila's a multi-award-winning hypnotherapist and business owner. She's been described by some as Britain's leading hypnotist, as a magician of belief, and a creator of programs that work like magic. She does. You may know her from the VGB program, Virtual Gastric Band. Yes, she made it famous. And she's also written a bunch of books, No More Diets, How to Build a Hypnotherapy Business, and really, it's the business of doing a hypnotherapy business that you are focusing on at this for your pre-conference workshops. Is that right, Sheila? And welcome. We're so glad you're here.
Yeah, and thank you. And it's great to see the both of you. And as always, have the opportunity to be involved with the conference again. It's one conference that I love so much because it is so community and almost family orientated. Wherever people are, they're always made to feel part of it and so welcome. And so it's why I'm really delighted that I've been asked to talk to you both tonight and deliver this, hopefully this 2-day pre-conference class as well. And the reason this year I've focused it on the business side of things rather than the therapy side of things is because there's so many hypnotherapy businesses that have been impacted by this naughty virus that's going around, and the way that people engage with us as well for our services has changed. So I wanted to really focus it on that, and my chat about it tonight really to give as much value as I could to help anybody whose business has slowed down because of this, or to be able for people to see the opportunities that are really there for us as a profession now.
Well, Sheila, I got a question just this last week from another virtual gastric band practitioner. We were talking about it, and she said, "Well, do you do that online?" And I said, "Absolutely. I do VGB online. I don't see any reason not to. I don't see any barrier between it. And of course, I have been online for quite a long time, as you have too, Sheila. As you know, you don't see any problem with doing the VGB program online, do you?"
Yeah, absolutely not. And most of what we do is now transferable online. And I think sometimes the only thing that stops us doing that is because, as a profession, we have been so used to in person that all of a sudden, I know we're different in different parts of the world, so what we could, what we couldn't do. But certainly for my business, everything has gone online.
Yeah.
And because I've continued to educate people about how that all works, because I think that's the number one point tonight for people, is, we've always had this thing, haven't we, that we've had to run this continuous education about what is hypnosis? Does it work? Can it really help with this? Is it woo-woo? Can I be hypnotized? All those traditional things that as a profession we have to be, it's almost like you press play on your on your recorder, isn't it? Just press play because I answer this all the time. But we've had to do that continuous education piece as a profession, and I think to move online, we just have to think, well, I have to do that, and then I also have to educate people to how it works online.
Yeah.
Because before the pandemic, you used to, because what the pandemic has done has massively accelerated online in every single business. The ones that have remained open, that they've kept going, they've embraced all of that progression. And the bad news, if you like, with it is even when our lives get back to some kind of normality, that massive progression to online will have remained.
You bet. You bet. I got to tell you, Sheila, it was, I think, 2 years ago, maybe, in at one of the conferences. I had been doing a whole bunch of stuff online and teaching people how to do it. And I was overhearing conversations from hypnotists that hadn't made that change yet. And somebody said, "Well, you can't possibly do hypnosis online. Why? That certainly couldn't work. And it's just not a good idea." Now, of course, we're all doing it online. And today, I talked to a client. I've had my vaccine, my client has had her vaccine and stuff, and we could get back together in the office. And she said, "Well, yeah, but why do we want to do that? It's so much easier, this way."
That's right.
Yeah, yeah. People have become used to it, haven't they? And there are benefits as well, that people can do everything for the comfort of their own home, and people understand the technology a lot more than they did before.
Mhm.
They've been doing it for their job, everything. So as an industry, we've got to move with the times, haven't we? We've got to meet what our public and our customers want, in a way that works for them. So whether we don't really like it, whether we sometimes feel that, oh, but I can do so much more in person, that what our client wants is what we've got to serve.
That's right.
Right. I don't know that I even agree with that assessment that there's so much more you can do in person than online. I mean, I feel like the client comes to me in trance to begin with, but certainly online, everybody who's staring at a computer screen is going into the screen trance. So you've got that covered right away.
That's right. That's right. So really, it's that education piece, isn't it? It's how do we meet the needs of our clients, and how do we educate them, and to how this all really works. So my piece of advice, to the very first thing is, if you put, if you can do a little video for your website to how this actually works, show them it, a little screenshot, how does this process actually work? And then, of course, when you start working with people online, gather the online testimonial.
Yeah.
And when you get in testimonial from people, obviously videos are best because people see it's a real person and you've not made it up. M. Watson, Florida. We want people to relate to the clients. But if you can cover off the person's objections within that, what are people's objections to doing something with us? So one of those could be, well, what if it doesn't work for me? Can I be hypnotized? Is it going to, how does it work online? Will it work online for me? Is the person nervous of taking it online? Then if you can get all those, almost that client answering that kind of thing on the video, and that's on your website straight away, explaining it.
Right.
And explain it as many times as possible. Because again, it's like that repetition, isn't it? And I think the other thing with online as well is that people's decision to buy something from us, to book an appointment with us, has changed. People want so much more from us now as a business, as a service, and they want to be able to engage with you as a service without making any decision whether they want to book you or anything else. And so we've almost got to build a relationship with somebody from the minute they land on our website. From the minute they land on our website, put a video on the homepage of your website immediately saying, "Hi, it's Sheila Granger here. Thanks for landing on my website." Give them some information up front.
Sure.
Make the connection with somebody up front. And when, like, I use video all the time now, but also from the point of view of building a relationship with somebody. So sometimes you get somebody will contact you. You get on your it might be through Facebook Messenger, or it might be somebody fills out the inquiry form on your website. And it used to just be a case of that, well, all I really want to do is speak to that person on the phone. When you get the how much do you charge, Karen, for the virtual gastric band? You don't really want to answer that question, do you? Because not that you don't want to answer it, but you want to have the opportunity to speak to somebody, explain it. Is it right for them? Because once we can explain to them and we can talk to them, well, 9 times out of 10 they'll probably buy. Then they'll probably book in if you've had a chance to talk to them. Whereas if you go back and say, yes, it's X price, you probably never hear from them again, because they'll be price shopping around, or they just think, oh, that's a lot of money. They don't see the benefits of it. So in the past, we've always just really wanted to be able to speak to somebody. But with this magic age of video, if I can't immediately speak to them on the phone, I could then send them a video. So very personalised. You can use platforms like we've got one in the UK called BombBomb, BOMB, which is a little bit of software, and it's free. They do have a paying part as well, but you can do them for free, where you just literally can record video, send it to their email address, and it appears on their screen with you sort of, hi, little picture of you. They press play straight away, and you can immediately engage with that person, and engage in a very personal way, where not in a stalky, weird kind of way, but you haven't just suddenly become their news. I've become your news stalker. And until you buy these services, I'll continue sending you weird videos. So not
Well, maybe that would work. I don't know. But if anyone's tried it out and tested it out, it's Sheila. So if it works, she would know. I'm taking it that doesn't work.
Yeah, not the stalky bit. But I think sometimes we forget that our job is to provide. If you were to deliver a world-class customer service for your hypnotherapy business, what would that look like? How quickly would you be responding to people? Now, we always get that person who, like, and I get it a lot because of time differences, because of course I do work in other countries. I'm kind of a 24/7 business, really, so that it never really stops, doesn't the email? And but I do attempt to get back to people as quickly as possible. So yeah, I'm not going to get up at 1:15 a.m. in the morning. Oh yes, I've just done it.
Yes.
not going to get up at 1:15 a.m. in the morning and send a video message to somebody. But if you can't get somebody on the phone, again, it's the same point, getting to technology straight away, isn't it? If you can send somebody a quick video, hi, Sheila here. Thanks ever so much for getting in touch through my website. Just thought I'd introduce myself. As you can see, I'm a completely normal person, just like you. You can make it very light-hearted. It's not salesy. Love to have the opportunity to just find out whether I can help you. You can meet me. There's no obligation. It's very light-hearted. But somebody thinks, oh my goodness, she's bothered. She's bothered to do that, to get in touch with me.
Yeah.
How much do you want your customer? How much do you want a customer? Because really, when you think about it, we only have to do one thing to create a great hypnosis business, and that's get clients. Get clients, give great service. Well, two things. Yeah, get clients, give great service. Because if we give great service and we make somebody feel special, and that's our job, isn't it, really? As a hypnotist, our job is to make somebody feel good.
Yeah.
In every sense in the word, let's just make somebody feel good. Because even then, on the off chance that what you do doesn't, what if you do doesn't work? Because the reality is we will always have, for whatever reason it may be, we will have the occasional client when the result isn't there. But if throughout you working with them, you've gone the extra mile, you've made them feel special, you've communicated well, you've given them a good experience, you've still made them feel good, they will still refer other people to you.
You bet.
Right.
You bet.
So I think this online and this working online has really increased our need for, embracing that, whatever we can do for customer service, and does embracing the technology too.
Yeah.
And I know, Sheila, in your business coaching and that kind of thing, that advice must have changed over the years, or at least over this last year, because back in the olden days, we could go to a Chamber of Commerce meeting, or we could go to speak at an event, or we could go to a meetup group. The olden days, that is so the other decade, a decade ago, right? It was so before times. So that was how we could put ourselves out there in person and meet people and talk to people and have those conversations. In a time like this, when we cannot, we have to have other avenues. So how do you suggest we get people to our website? How do we let people know we're here now?
And again, although we say that was the old time when we could meet in person, there's so many things that we can still do that have just gone online instead.
Yeah.
So, there actually the opportunity to go out and give presentations to groups of people is still there. It's just that you're not going to leave your house to do it.
Right.
Because all those groups that met in person are now meeting online. Mm-hmm. In fact, more groups than ever are probably meeting online. So we can just still go and give our presentations, and really, when you think about it, marketing and letting people know you exist, because that's what it's about, isn't it? Hello, I exist. This is what I do. And we've got to let as many people as possible know about that. That's what we can do to help them. So what's always worked for me is infiltrating my community.
Yeah, that's right.
And taking notice of what are the issues in my community today. What are they talking about on the news channels? So and then adapting my messages to what's current and relevant today. So and it was really interesting because right at the start of the pandemic, I had this concern that there would be a lot of hypnotherapy businesses that all of a sudden would fall off a cliff because everything had changed. And generally, when I talk about marketing things, and don't get me wrong, I love teaching marketing, but I know people sometimes would rather think, oh, I want to learn about EFT or some kind of therapy technique, because that's, so much more exciting, isn't it? And I get that. I get that. And so if I ever had a class with something like that, the class would always be filled. But if it was about marketing or business, the numbers on it would be lower. But because I was so worried last March, I thought, oh my goodness, there's going to be so many businesses that are going to just drop off the cliff. So I went out and did a huge education process for hypnotherapists, and invited people to a 12-week class where I was going to just give all the continuous messages for 12 weeks on different subjects, press releases, promotional videos that people could push out and get consistently used to doing that kind of thing, rather it be so overwhelming to start with. And for the first time ever, there was 160 people who joined me on that.
Wow. Yeah.
Because people recognised, hang on, I've got to do something. And the reason that happened is because I put the right messages at the right time to my community. But you can put that in any situation. So as a hypnotist, if you're putting the right message at the right time to your community and that it's relevant, the phone's going to ring, or people are going to contact you. So, if I look at where we are in the UK at the moment, so here in the UK, we're cautiously opening back up again, because, we've got, I've had huge numbers with the pandemic. So they've kept us in lockdown for quite a long time now. So we're just gradually starting to open back up again. But now, of course, there's huge social anxiety with going back out again.
Right.
So, if I can put a press release out to my local media about what I'm doing to help with social, that particular point, then it will always get press coverage and it will always make the phone ring. So we've got to think, are we going for just our local area, or are we going for more of a, of course, if you're online, you can work anywhere, can't you?
Yeah.
But the easiest, I've always found, infiltrate your local community first, and then you can push out. And the other thing, if people haven't already done this, and certainly I say I can only talk for sort of the people around me in the UK, really. But I'm sure you've heard of Google My Business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is yours up to date? Karen?
No.
Right. So, because you see, you're online, so you've got that excuse that it's probably, but if you're looking at, one-to-one work in your community, then the cheapest way to get your website up the SEO rankings is Google My Business. Google help you get up the rankings. And if you think about it, if you were to go out, think, oh, what new restaurant should we try tonight? You'll put into Google restaurants near me, and then Google will bring up the restaurants, and the ones that have got ratings, you'll think, oh, what's those reviews? Or if you're going to go on holiday somewhere new, you'll go onto it and what does it say about those places? And you'll read the good reviews and you'll read the bad reviews. But Google is doing that for you. So, I would advise any hypnotist to spend a couple of hours getting their Google My Business up to date, the profile right on it, and also asking people for reviews. Sometimes we're a bit shy at coming forward and not actually asking a client to give us a review. And that review might be on Google My Business, or it might be maybe on your Facebook business page. But, ask people, it's a recommendation now on a Facebook business page, but ask people to give you a review. And obviously, ideally, we want 5-star Google reviews. And if you're going to do that, think of when you're going to ask for the review. Because if somebody emailed me on a Monday morning at 10:30 or 10 o'clock and said, oh, could you do me a review on this? The chances of that happening on that day are probably about nil, because I've got other things to think about and I might get back to doing it and I might not. So I tend to send people a text message and I'll send it to a client, and I'll send it on a Sunday afternoon, maybe about 4 o'clock or something, when hopefully people haven't got too much else on. And the text message will say something like, it'd be a really friendly one. We know the client who we're sending it to. And I'll say, I'm wondering if you can do, hope you're doing okay. I'm wondering if you can do me a favour. I've been really remiss at asking for reviews on my Google My Business page. Could you just spare, it'll literally take you 2 minutes to say how you felt before you came and how you feel now. And this is the link. And you can text somebody the link. And most of our clients are willing to help us if we ask them, because they love us, don't they? Our clients absolutely love us.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that my advice to any hypnotist is to spend a little bit of time, just get your Google My Business review post up to date, and you will find that just by doing that and nothing else, you will be doing more than 95% of other hypnotists around you or in your area have done. Because if somebody then looks you up, you're the one that's going to come to the top of the Google rankings because you'll have the reviews on. And if you don't like the photograph that Google have put on of your business, because of course they're doing it on Street View, and sometimes, the picture that they've got next to your business is the picture of the bins or something like that, the trash cans.
Yeah.
You can ask Google to change that picture. You can give them something else. You can upload another picture and ask them to change it.
I didn't know that. That's a surprise. But my Google My Business is certainly out of date. I know that, and Sheila, I get calls from them all the time, and this is one of my challenges. So I'm glad that you mentioned it. Is that I have a telephone at home that I don't answer at all anymore because it's nothing but people trying to market to me, and my cell phone is getting to be the same way. And as soon as they call and say, we're calling, from Google because, is your Google listing up to date or something like that? And I'm like, yeah, thanks. And it doesn't occur to me, you're actually letting me know I should pay attention to those people.
Yes, yeah. And if Google, if you sort of thought, well, everything's online, and I guess this is a lesson in that sometimes we should use the old-fashioned pen and paper to get in touch with people, because if everything was just online, why do Google write to you? Google send me letters. Do I want to run ads or whatever? So if everything was reachable online, I think sometimes we forget about the old-fashioned
Sure.
way of contacting people. The other big thing throughout the pandemic as well has been, sort of the joint venture kind of relationship with people. Where does your client already go, your potential client? And because if you can offer something to help another business at the same time as helping your own, then they're going to be willing to work with you. And so say, for example, I don't know, VGB, Virtual Gastric Band. Where does that potential client already hang out? Which other services do they already use? So they may use the service of, for example, a private dentist. So they're already used to paying for another service. And if you think about a lot of dentists, their business model is, of course, they get somebody in as a client, a person's a customer for life, everything's great while they still keep coming. But like I did a joint venture with a dentist who his concern as a business was the clients who hadn't been to see him for a long time. They were clients, they were on his list, but they hadn't been in for a checkup for however long, so he was getting no money as a business out of these people. Well, if I can offer him something to offer those people, so he's re-engaging with them, he gets a chance to speak to them again, get them back into his list, then we've created a win-win. So we did something on sugar addiction. So how we were working together, for sugar addiction. And this, what they were going to do is they were sending out, well, they were going to send out the full database, but they were going to concentrate on the people who hadn't been in for a long period of time. And they were going to offer them this, it was just a recording that I'd put together, a little information pack and a recording on sugar addiction. And all they had to do to collect it was go into the dentist and pick it up.
Wow.
So, of course, at that point, they had the chance to speak to them. Oh, you've not been for a long, Mrs. Hand, you've not been for over 4 years. Shall we book you in now for that appointment? So they got to re-engage with them. I got the list and the details of the people who picked that recording up so that I could then follow them up myself with that. So, so there's a lot of things that you can do if you look at what's happening to other businesses and how can you support them and work together.
That's a wonderful idea. I'm trying to find myself, Sheila, a dentist that works online. If you know if you know any like that, I'll go see them right away. But yeah, as you're talking about this, and I'm backing up just a little bit in your conversation, you're talking about where are your clients generally, not just in these trade relationships, but where are they and where do you find them? It occurs to me, and I asked a group of people just the other day about this that are hypnotists that say, we really want to market our business online, and and we want to do more work online, and I seem to do really quite well just because I have a lot of contacts through Facebook and stuff that that I'm interacting with. But bear in mind, I'm training hypnotists. On the other hand, what these people are doing is they've joined every hypnosis group that there is online, and wondering why they're not getting weight loss clients or sports clients or something like that, because they're in the wrong groups, they're in the wrong places.
Yeah, and we do tend to hang out with other hypnotists, don't we?
Yeah, but they're not going to buy our
But
service.
that's not it's not where our clients are. So which groups do they hang out in? And it's never a case that there aren't the clients out there.
Yeah, right.
Because I always think we only have to look at the list of things that hypnotherapy can help with, or hypnosis can help with, and the list is endless, isn't it?
Yeah.
And well, I've certainly got probably 10 of the things on the list anyway. At least, if not more. So it's only a case then really of, okay, how do we educate somebody about that and let people know that there is a solution to that problem that they've got. Oh, Karen's muted herself.
Sorry. Do you take that as far as advertising, Sheila? In other words, do you pay money by Facebook ads or any of the ad elements that can be done? Google offers ads too. So do you ever?
Yeah, I think, certainly Google ads is worth paying for. And again, during the pandemic, and even now to a certain extent, the cost per lead is very, very low, because so many businesses have thought, right, I'm going to stop spending any money on marketing. We'll all go quiet. And actually going quiet is the worst thing that a business can do. There's nothing more, I've had it say all the time the last few months, there's nothing more annoying, isn't there? You think, oh yeah, I think that shop is open. I'll have a look on Facebook. Are they open at the moment? Because a lot of our non-essential shops have been shut. So you think, oh yeah, no, it is open. It's saying it's open between these hours. We'll drive round there. It's shut. Because, they haven't bothered letting people know whether they're open, closed. So again, it's a lesson for us as hypnotists. Update things. What are you open? How are you working? So people know. But yeah, so going back to what you said, Karen, which now I can't remember.
I'm thinking. My question to you was, do you go as far as...
Sorry, the paying for the ads. Sorry. Oh dear. So yeah, I do pay sometimes to get a customer. When we look at paying out, we've got to know our numbers, really. So it can't just be oh yeah, that's going to cost me $600. What we want to think about is how many clients do we want this to produce for us? And what is a client worth to us? What we're willing to pay to get a client. You know, that's all about your prices then, isn't it? So if a client to you is worth, okay, so a client is worth $800, for example, or $600, then if it costs me $60, even $60 to get that client on an ad, then I'm still up. Because, you know, a marketing spend is like a slot machine. It's like being in the slots in Vegas. And, you know, if I put $1 in and I get $2 back, well, I'll stand by those slots all day. So we've got to know, we've got to test things out. So I would never say, you know, yeah, because you'll get these marketing companies that will ring up and say, yeah, I want to spend X. You know, we want to test it out to what it produces. But sometimes it's not necessarily, sometimes that we're not spending enough. You know, if there's a bunch of hypnotists around you and they're all spending a little bit on Google Ads, then really we've got to outspend what people we might view as our competitors. We just got to outspend them. And that's all right as long as it's producing. So I've just, and again, it depends what it's for. So like I've just done a whole load of Facebook advertising. And say, for example, to get people to an event, that's cost at, it's worked out as £2.42 UK per lead. So about $4 for a registration. Now that's to get people in effect to a free event.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got 600 people registered on that free event.
Nice.
Right.
So so then it comes down to, okay, what you're going to produce at the end of it. If it's a free event, what are you looking to produce and what do the numbers look like on that?
Sheila, I just checked the time and oh my gosh, it's gone so fast. Before we get any further, I really want to get down to some brass tacks on your specific program at the conference, because you're going to be doing Wednesday and Thursday. So that's the 20th and 19th and 20th. 19th and 20th, right? The 2 days before the conference, which starts the 21st. I just can't. Math isn't my strong suit. And the 2-day workshop is Create a Booming Hypnosis Business for 2021 and beyond. So what can I expect when I walk into the class? What's it going to look like?
When you zoom into it.
It's going to look like a Zoom room.
In my mind, I still see it as classrooms. It's every time I think about the things that we're doing, I'm picturing, just like Karen said, that walking into your room and what will it look like?
Yeah. Yeah. So this year I wanted to do something really, really special and literally give people everything that I could think that would help them to get their marketing to a point where they're putting consistent messages out. And you know yourself, sometimes you can sit and scratch your head and think, oh, let me put this press release together, or I've got to write this blog post, or so what I've really done is emptied my computer for people. So everything that I've done over the last 13 years to keep the business moving, to get clients with what it's all about, I've put it all into the material that people will get on this 2 days. So not only will they come away with, of course, lots of golden nuggets, actionable plans, all that usual stuff, but I've put in there $10,000 worth of done for your marketing material. So that includes, you know, we talked a little bit about video tonight and how important that is. So we've talked, so these are done for you promotional videos. And when I say done for you, that all my details are removed and all your details are put on it instead. So it will say hypnosis online by that person's name, the contact details at the back. There's a full video explanation. They're all really high quality professional videos on the everyday topics, so on alcohol, stop smoking, all the usual things that we see people for. And then some that are more industry specific or more specific, so it might be working with sports people or giving presentations, or there's a whole bunch of these things. And with every one as well, there are professionally written press releases, so you can rub out the name Sheila Granger and just write Karen Hand instead. And they've all been proven time and time again to land media. There's pre-written blog posts, pre-written social media posts, so people can, because the big thing with marketing is we get all excited and think, oh yes, I could do that, and we can do it that week, but we've got to be consistent. So what am I going to put out next week, or the week after that? So there is at least 4 months worth of content. So you could just press, or I'll just copy and paste that onto my blog, or I'll put that on there. So without having to think about it too much, but that also then gets people into the habit of that. How do I write those consistent messages, and what do I put? And because certainly for people who, so there'll be stuff in that course that is for people literally who maybe have used this time to train to become a hypnotist, and well, where do I even start with all of this?
That's the biggest secret of our business, I think.
Yes.
Oh man, I was so excited to be a hypnotist. I had magic in my hands. I knew what to do and could help people. I've got to be a business person. It was the biggest shock. I also have to do business.
Yes. And and it's that's all the stuff that really puts us out of our comfort zone, isn't it? It's like, well, I've never had to do, I don't come from any background in doing things like that. What I do know is once you get into that side of it, I love it as much as the hypnosis, to be honest.
Oh, I know you do. And you're good at it. You're a great model for that. But what I love most about it, Sheila, is you do it for me.
Yes.
I mean, and trust me on this, she gives you material that you can absolutely use. Okay. So if you want some stuff done for you, this is a great course. Mm-hmm. On the business side. You do that. You be the star hypnotist and use Sheila's stuff for the business.
Yes. Yeah, because then you can concentrate on that side of things, can't you? And just think, okay, well, I can pick this up gradually, and gradually learn all these different things. Because and what I've done with this 2 days as well is really focus it on marketing today, because it has changed over the pandemic. So how we do that, and some more ideas on, okay, how do we get that great customer interaction with people, and get people talking about us? Because really what we want to build is an all referral practice, because if we build an all referral practice, then we don't have to worry about this marketing stuff quite so much. So we're very geared towards doing all these things, but it builds an all referral practice as well.
Right. Well, this is lovely, Sheila. I wish we had a little more time, but well, it's 2:15 in the morning where you are, so I know that the bars are already closed. And what can you do besides go to bed? But yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, create a booming hypnosis business. Sheila Granger, Wednesday and Thursday, May 19th and 20th, the 2 days before the weekend of the IACT IMDHA conference, right here online. And it's going to be a wonderful thing. We're really looking forward to seeing what you do, Sheila. So
thank you. And I look forward to seeing you both next year in person. And what's that going to be like when you can actually see people in person again?
Well, some of my friends have been telling me that I'm two-dimensional, but I think I'm just dimensional enough.
Sheila, we love you. Thank you very much for joining us in the middle of your night.
Great to see you.
For your time.
Thank you.
We'll see you on Zoom soon again.
Yeah, see you soon. Great to see you all. Bye-bye. Bye.
Good night.
Good night.